Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Air Force Golf Show. I'm Dave Roberts,
I'm Rudy J.
and we're saving lives one swing at a time.
That's right. What's up, man? How you
Hey,
been?
hey, how you been, man?
Better.
I've seen that. Look, did you get cut from the Cowboys kicking field goals or what?
Man, when you get on the wrong side of 45, you never know.
Yeah,
You never know. A little stress fracture. Lightweight. I'm fine.
45. God, I can't.
I'm
even-
48.
Okay, well,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Wrong side of
Yeah, I
45.
know. No, that's your golf score.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how have you been?
Good, man.
Hey, we had this experience lately. We got to finally play a couple rounds of golf together.
4. We played some rounds. I don't remember how many exactly, but we played some golf.
And your game is coming along.
It's coming along.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, Mamba mentality. I was playing hurt. I'm not as bad as I played. I couldn't really plant. Yes, I'm making excuses, but they're legit. Legit. But throughout the experience of playing with you, I can say you're a legit pro
Thank you.
because you were able to fix me. Well, not totally. Right?
Well, you're on the injured
totally-
reserve at the
you weren't able
moment.
to fix me, to the liking of your standards, but just little things here and there, ball placement, foot placement, grip, thoughts, staying over it.
Remember,
able to help me
it's
out.
the stairs. Okay, we're not doing the
Eventually-
escalator thing.
Yeah, I got better from the first round we played up until that last round that we played. I
Yes, and
definitely
you
got
had some
better.
solid shots. I did lose a couple of bets to you while I didn't
Yeah,
give you too many strokes.
You can never give me too many strokes. You're scratched.
You got more strokes than a heart
Yeah,
patient
exactly,
out there, man.
exactly.
I'm like again,
Yeah.
and I knew you enjoyed me walking up Heart Attack Hill.
Yeah, Lackland. We got a chance to play out at Lackland Air Force Base. That was a great experience. Definitely elevated.
Yes,
Elevated. Robert has done a great job out there, taking care of those greens. Lackland went through a period where it was a little rough, and Robert's got out there and he's really made some really strong strategic changes. But the greens were in great shape. Had a great time out at Lackland.
and folks, we're referencing Robert. He's the general manager out there. Last name Vaskas. Really great guy. I call him Rocket Rob all the time, and he's always going 100 miles an hour on the 55-mile-an-hour plan. But he's turned Lackland and Gateway Hills around, and it is becoming very popular again. And the course conditions, they've improved 100% since he's taken over the last couple of years. And looking forward to get back out there with you when you're off that injured
That'd
reserve.
be fine, man. Ethan Stick. Got to play with Ethan.
Mr. Chip in.
Yeah, Mr. Chip in. He was really good, man. So had a great time out at Lackland with y'all. Gateway Hills, excuse me.
Oh no. It was a fantastic time. Went over to Randolph, and a little history behind Randolph. It's the first Air Force
See that?
golf course that was built after the Air Force was formed.
Yes.
So it's like 78 years
I
old.
did not know that until we were out there.
And the general manager, Kenneth Boyce, out there.
What up, Ken?
Hey, what a 7 would he hit on hole number 6 or 5?
First of all, he was trying to go 3-wood. We're going in the woods on Golf Talk, different clubs. But I was like, no, man, hit the 7. So I was happy. That was my best caddy moment of when we're out there doing the scramble out at Randolph. He was like, "You sure?" I was like, "Yeah, man, 7-wood. I like it." The caddy, you always hear they pick up the mics during the tournament. You're like, 7-wood?
Yeah, but usually they fire him afterwards
Yeah,
if
you
it went
don't
wrong.
fire 'em.
At least you
Lord,
didn't
just
give
give me my tip. Just let me get my 20%. That's all I ask.
So what'd you think of Randolph? Great course.
What I think of Randolph is probably the busiest track we went to. Randolph is getting in a lot of rounds. I don't know if you have the data on how many. Are they number 1?
No, but they are right within the top 5.
Okay, so they're top 5. It was a busy round, us being out there, But the thing about it, what I loved is while it was busy, everybody was very hospitable. And I think that was the difference when you're playing your local muni. And we talked about this on the scramble. When you're playing your local muni, sometimes you'll get in front of a couple of guys that think they're on tour, kind of push you along. And I know pace of play is an interesting thing, but Randolph, everybody was accommodating. Everybody was cool. Like, hey, man, filming something, doing something, y'all mind? No problem. No worries. And we talked about that a lot, like the difference in Air Force golf courses versus your local muni. Not, saying anything bad about the local munis, but you could tell the difference because of the brotherhood. Like whether you served or not, you feel like, hey, he may have served. I'm gonna be cool with him. I'm out here to have a leisurely good time anyway. But I thought Randolph was in great shape. And then those greens as well, and a couple of signature holes as well. That par three you stuck after
Number
after
11.
after a
You got
after a little wardrobe malfunction that
yeah,
y'all will see.
yeah, that was
Hopefully we don't see too much.
yeah, no, no,
I
no.
don't want to see too much of the wardrobe
That was the
malfunction.
backside going. Yeah, I was going away, so that'll be all good. I mean, but hey, every star has a wardrobe malfunction, or they wouldn't be famous. And I'm just famous to myself, not to you guys.
You're
But
famous to me, Dan.
no, 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 you did wonderful. But I had to hit that shot to keep it going, and it was really exciting because I had to press down. But one thing at Randolph before we move on to MacDill was that if you notice the clientele, there was everything from airmen to retirees. There were ladies. It was really
Oh
exciting
yeah,
as we went around the
right.
golf course to see the different groups that were out there playing. And again, they were all hospitable and they enjoyed what we were doing actually. And I went back the other day and got some great comments, and they thought that was
Oh
really.
really?
They thought that was
What'd they
very.
say? Tell the truth.
They said that they were really honored that they had this going on, and they were chosen to you know be
Represent.
promoted and represented throughout the Air Force.
Yeah, because you got is that 12? That's right along the airstrip.
Yes.
That's 12, right? We didn't play 12. We got to play 12, and I may or may not have sliced one onto.
That's all right. Goose didn't find it when he was taking
Okay,
off, so
so
everything's fine there.
it won't affect the Jets.
No, it won't affect the Jets.
Okay, cool.
But back to Randolph again, Kenneth Boyce, not only the general manager of the golf course, but he's also superintendent. And to have 40 plus thousand rounds run through your
Is
golf
it
course
40 plus thousand?
and still have it maintained in that condition, that's saying a lot about him and his staff.
That's the thing that's amazing. And we'll get to a couple other golf courses. But in my experience, when I went to the academy on base bites, 55,000 rounds, maybe 65,000 rounds, and not a blade of grass out of place. So y'all are doing, I don't know what y'all doing over there. I know you're in tight with all the GMs and all the courses, but to play upwards of those amount of rounds and for the courses to be in the shape they are, you should be proud of your squad. You should be proud of your team.
Oh, I'm proud of them. And they hosted the 2024.
Who is this?
No, they were the 2018 Armed Forces Champion. That's where we held it, where all the surfaces come in.
Right.
Because one of the bases we did play with was 2024, which was Patrick Space Force Base. So we're going to these great golf courses, Let's hit the MacDill right quick, making a comeback. 3 hurricanes. They were devastated for a while. Yes, all in the same season. And PGA professional out there, Dave Stewart.
I think you met your match in Dave Stewart. Like you can chuck it up with the best of them. But Stewart, I think you met your match. He had a lot to say. Really, really fun guy. That's the kind of guy you want to play golf with. Like let's say you're a one and you just want to go get in a round by yourself. If you were to get teamed up with you and Dave Stewart, and that'd be a good time. That's definitely the type of guy you want to play golf with. And considering what they went through just a couple years ago, to have that course back where they are, a few gators, which I loved. For me being a Texas man, excuse me. When I'm going down to Florida, if I didn't see a gator, I don't feel like I went to Florida, but I got to see.
Well, you got really close to that gator.
I think that's when I messed up trying to get away from that gator. Because he started moving and hissing and I had to get out of there.
Like us people, that's we like them for luggage and boots and belts, but they like us for dinner. You know what I'm saying?
Never had gator anything.
Oh God, it tastes really great.
I'm with Peter. No, I'm kidding. No, MacDill. What do you think about MacDill, considering all they've been through, and they're doing a lot of changes to the driving range, getting it covered, getting some top choices out there. What do you think of MacDill?
I think they've come a long way for what they have out there. Again, the freeze came, so there was like another setback.
On top of
the 3 hurricanes, and then it goes back to the funding, and it comes in waves like everything else. But Dave Stewart has put together a plan, and I think it's very important for everyone to know that our golf managers, they're very versed in putting strategic plans together. Now, this one had to be accelerated due to the situation. So that 3 to 5 year came to 1 to 2, and as we saw the construction on the Top Tracer range, that's going into effect. His pro shop is MacDaddy.
Yo, hold on. Let me speak to it from I won't say casual. I play a lot of golf, but a casual golfer. I've been in a lot of pro shops. Whether you want to talk about, your country clubs, all the way down to the your local muni. He's up there. Stewart's pro shop is grade A with the Top Tracer right there inside.
That's right.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful venue.
Great food. We had fantastic lunch.
I ate like a pig.
At the 8-Ball Grill.
I ate like a pig. But that pro shop is grade A.
Yes, the pro shop
I
is
think I bought 4 shirts from there.
right here.
Oh, you got yours on?
I got mine on.
I got my Randolph
I
on.
love this shirt. It is so cool. I've never had a button up that had the dry wick on it. And it's very comfortable. So I bought a couple of them because, that's the way I roll. And I like it. Again, you played solid there. You and I got to go out.
We got to play by ourselves.
We got to sneak out for a Just 9 initiative and hung out. And you threw down the gauntlet. And I said, hey, you need to play like Dave. And
yeah,
I think I did.
Because I told you, I was like, you were taking it easy on us. I saw you were trying to make. So
did you see another Dave?
I saw there's 2 Daves. There's 2 Daves. You had the Dave that's like, hey, you know what? I don't want to show anybody up. I don't want to show up our other twosome. But then when you and I went out on our own and you were giving me some pointers that helped, by the way. Hire your local PGA pro. It helped, but I did see a whole different game, and you were like, "This."
And you know what? After about the 3rd or 4th hole, I saw a different Rudy because you then got a little. Even though you were hurting, you got a little serious, and you were like.
But you know what I found out in this experience with the scramble? So, you put yourself in the pro's mind when he's got $1 million on the line. And 1,000 cameras. Like when it was just you and I, and we're trying to figure out the lay of the land and check out MacDill, and there's no cameras around. I'm hitting great shots. The minute them cameras get out there and there's some people watching you, it changes. So you kind of think about that from a PGA or Live Tour guy. You like, oh, they got cameras on them. There's a gallery, and this 7-foot putt is worth 6. I can move up 2 spots on the leaderboard and get an extra 750,000. It changes everything when those cameras are rolling.
Yes, it
does. It's a little different when the cameras are rolling. So I did find myself a little gun shy, a little wobbly boot. Like, oh man, the cameras are watching. Is the production crew going to think I'm terrible? Like all these thoughts, and I'm not even playing for money. So I was
right,
like,
but you
man.
had a great cheering section because before all the shots, we're like, all right, you got this. And we were good with our entire foursome. All right, you've got this, you got this. Until, of course, it came down to me. And then you're like, okay, Dave.
No, I didn't.
I felt like secondhand smoke. Y'all didn't even let me putt one day. Y'all were so good.
Yeah, we did make some birdies.
Yes,
We had a lot of birdies, man.
And what did I tell you? As long as the putter's not in my hand, we win.
And we did. We had some really.
But I can putt.
holes.
But
I know.
It's one of those things that it's very surreal for people who get in front of the camera with a golf club, and it is totally different. Back in my earlier career, some of that was happening, so I kind of knew what to expect. But you never get used to it because that thought does go into your mind.
No.
Did I swing that right? Did I do this? And out there on the PGA Tour where it's all real time.
It's real.
There
It's real.
is
Every
no
shot
take 2, take 3, and
There's no Ray Allen to bail you out. There's no, if there's nobody to help you out. You're on the golf course. That's the thing about golf. Like if it's going bad, guess what? The only person that can fix it or not fix it is you. It's just you. And
but you did have a moment at MacDill
okay.
where you hit a shot, and this was after you and I played our casual Just 9,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't hit it very good.
Okay.
And you turned around and you looked at me. And it was like when I do my junior tour stuff and I see the kids look at their parents like it's their fault. And I'm like, I didn't swing the club. You swung the club.
If I did that, I apologize right here on camera. I apologize. You're like,
and I'm like, seriously?
now that look was more like,
you can't believe that you did that.
Right.
Right. But when you
Nothing
turn
to do
around
with
and
the
look at
lesson.
me, then and being the coach, then it goes, okay, I think I just had him throw an interception.
Yeah.
And it's okay because that's what we're here for,
Right.
is to be that sounding board. Hey, what is the results? And as you saw, one of my teaching styles is a very casual teaching style. As we were on the
No, it's simplified.
We-
It's not. You're not too
technical.
Yeah. I mean, it was very simplified. Like, look, this is what I want you to do. Go here, go here.
So what did you think about the pitching lesson? Did that make sense to you when we were at MacDill? We did that one hole where I had you hit pitches 3 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Did that kind of resonate where you want to get it on the ground and you want,
that's where the money's made. So,
well, right. Because you
pitching
can
and
go
putting.
300
Yeah,
yards
pitching and putting. So, no, that was very helpful.
if you go 300 yards in 2 swings and you're not on the green yet, I've seen
Yeah.
people leave with 4 more strokes.
Yeah,
than the
exactly.
ball.
No, it was very helpful.
Yeah.
Very helpful. But all in all, MacDill got to play with Miss Terry as well.
Oh, she's the operations manager, and
She's
Terry
really
Druschel,
boss.
that's 007. She's silent but deadly. She doesn't miss a fairway. She doesn't miss a green.
Right. She's the boss. And so all in all, MacDill, nothing but love. And consider, especially everything they went through.
And
That's a golf course I'd go play right now.
I think they ought to have a motto, "We're back," because they are. I mean, from the devastation, being underwater, to having 2 golf courses in very, very good shape and just only getting better, I think they're back.
It's a very nice base.
That's a lovely base.
I was like, wait a minute, what's the Air Force doing down here? What's the Air Force doing down here in Tampa? Like, we drive onto the base and I'm looking at some of the quarters and the houses and stuff. I'm like,
What'd you think of the general's house? That looked like J.R. Ewing's house.
I thought it was David Robinson's house. I was like, who lives here?
There's no NBA team in
There's
Tampa.
no NBA team in Tampa, man. Beautiful city overall, though. Got to go downtown too. Great.
Yeah.
Definitely a destination base for the Air Force.
Yes, and everybody who gets orders there are always smiling when they come.
You don't want to leave there.
No.
You don't want to leave there. MacDill's beautiful.
Well, we topped it off with Patrick Space Force Base. What do you think about them? They're
17 out of 18 holes have water in play. So it's great to look at, right? It's like one of those beautiful courses. I think about hole 7. It reminds me of the Players Championship hole. Which hole am I talking
17.
about? 17 at the Players. Bunkers protecting to both sides water. One of those holes you walk up to and you hope no one's behind you because you want to take it all in. You want to get up. That's the hole. If you ever get to play Patrick Space Force Base, and you and your fellas or you and your ladies are down there, that's the hole. You save your group picture for hole 7.
I think the white sand and the railroad ties just
They're
make
the best
that
bunkers I've seen. Those are again, you never want to be in one, but that's the best bunkers that I've seen. Like in all the courses I played a lot of courses. The best bunkers I've seen. So if I had to be in a bunker, I'd pick Patrick Space Force.
The white sand is very, very nice.
More gators. Shout out to the Gators.
A lot of it. Well, they have more water.
Yeah, they have more water there, but
Why do you think their golf ball sales are up 75%? There's more water.
nobody, you could get your ball retriever, right? Normally you got your ball retriever, you're like, I'm gonna get some free balls. Nah, not at Patrick. Patrick Space Force Base, you donate that to the fellas of the waters. But no, man, Patrick was one of those courses where even again, where you're driving in and you already know you're somewhere special. Definitely know you're somewhere special. And, the 2 gentlemen that we got to play with out there were also, they know that course front to back, side to side, how the wind is going to play, how you should putt, which way the greens are going to read. Had a wonderful time out.
Another base I didn't get to putt at, but
more birdies.
More birdies. But let me ask you a question about 11, 12, and 13, the 3 holes that are right there on the edge of the Banana River.
Yes.
And the Atlantic Ocean. What do you think about those? So pretty, weren't they?
Not the par 3. It's beautiful. But that par 3 is
diabolical. It can be.
I mean, when you got a 15-mile-an-hour wind coming at you, this is what I'll say about Patrick. If you're 18 to 20, if you're above a 15 handicap and you normally play 1 in, because of the wind, and if you still want to enjoy it, go 1 more in. That's not a knock on a golf course, right?
No, because we want you to do.
Go 1 more. I would go 1 more in. So if I normally play 1 in at Patrick, because of the wind and there's water on almost every hole except 1, play 1 more in so you can enjoy the round, because that wind it's different. You're on Cocoa Beach. You're on Gosh, Space.
Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, Cape Canaveral. So it's wind constantly, whether it's hot, whether it's cold. We had perfect weather. Actually, it was in the 70s. It was perfect. But if you want to enjoy the round, I go one more in.
Well, with Atlantic Ocean on one side, the Banana River on the other, it's always gusting and it's swirling, as we found out. It's not always going to be in the
No,
same
on
direction.
11 it's in your face, and 12 it's left to right.
And you're still going in the same direction.
It's
You're
still
like,
going the
what's
same
going
direction.
on? I was, you know, very impressed with the conditions they had because they had also ice. And for it to come back, Kevin Zerkey, who's the general manager, is also the GCSAA
Hey,
superintendent,
Kev,
and Mr. Brandell John.
love him.
That guy has more information than encyclopedia. He used to be out on tour with the tour officials and doing rulings and uh, his knowledge though of the game, and then or of course his knowledge as a course ambassador there at Patrick, it could help people out for the first time when they show up.
Yeah, it helped me out again, especially when you're reading the greens, which were pristine. Bro, you know what I mean? Like fantastic greens. Just like, yeah, I know this is what it looks like, Rudy, Dave, but I promise you play it here. And guess what? We walked away with all birdies. So he knew what he was talking about, definitely.
Well, I want to get back to the one hole. It was one of the holes we played, and that was hole number 13, dog leg left. Has the rock in the middle of the beach. You got beach out to the right, and it was
It's
like
a waste area.
it is a waste area is by definition, but it
See,
looks like
remember it.
it looks like the
Remember.
beach with some rocks, and they have that special rock that's sitting there. But it seemed like to me, did it seem like to you that we teed off dead into the wind?
Hmm.
We were able to cut the corner with a good drive, and then we made a hard left, and we were still into the wind.
Still into the wind.
It was like I thought that would be sideways, and it's still into the wind.
Yeah, and no matter what level of golfer you are, you want the challenge, right? You still want the challenge. You are so it was it was fun but challenging. I was telling you over that weekend, golf is torturous pleasure.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's torturous pleasure, and all it takes is one shot to get you back out there. But full circle, we had fun. You know what I mean? Like everybody had a few bad shots. Everybody at every course we went to, everybody had a few shots. But guess what we did after? We laughed, we joked about it, we made fun of each other, and we moved on. And I think that's what we're trying to get everybody to understand that it's one, it's therapeutic, and two, it's actually fun, and three, you get away from what you consider the 365. You know what I mean? It's 365 when we're talking about our airmen and our guardian. And it's a great getaway and a great place. Again, I made a bunch of new friends. Whenever I'm in those towns, those are the people I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call Stewart up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call those guys up and be like, hey, I'm in town. Let's get around in. And you make lifelong friends at this sport because you're spending 4 hours with them. Sometimes more, depending on the level of play. And you get to know people and you never thought you'd get along with. You see them at, grocery store, you walk right past them, but these become lifelong friends. And we just had a blast, therapeutic, great times, beautiful courses.
Circling back to something you said earlier, playing forward to have more fun.
Yes.
We find that a lot of folks say, well, you know what? I paid a full green fee. I want to play the entire course. Does that really hurt them or does that benefit them?
See, I'm gonna speak for us. Um, you're like, oh man, if I'm spending $80, I want to, but no, you're gonna spend $80, you're gonna play from the tips and you're gonna have a horrible time and then you're gonna be mad at yourself. Go enjoy the course. You don't get anything for playing the tips. There's no extra, you don't get it. You don't come to the clubhouse after the round and they give you a medal. Hey, y'all play the tips. No, you don't get anything for that. Go out there, perfect. It's just like weightlifting. Get to 12 reps with 135 before you bump up to 185. It's
Right.
the same thing with golf. Master the red tees. And then we say play forward, there's your tips, there's your one in, there's your two in. So you got your blue, white, and red. Play the reds, master the reds. When you feel like the reds are like not challenging you anymore, then go back. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's with anything.
Play to
Drive
your
with
talent
Yeah,
level.
drive with two hands. No music. I'm teaching my teenager to drive. We need lock in. Then you can go to one, have the music at this level. Then when you've mastered it, move to the tips. So it's just like life. Golf emulates life in a lot of ways, and that's one of them. Playing the proper tees, and you keep the golf course moving.
So let me ask you this. With all the rounds we played,
Yeah.
what was your favorite moment?
Ooh, my favorite moment.
Because you had some great moments out there.
My favorite moment. Oh, you threw me a slider, you threw me a Shohei Ohtani slider.
That's why it's live TV.
I gotta go 11 at Randolph because there was so much going on. There was so much going on. We're coming to a tee box. Randolph was busy that day. You know, it's a beautiful hole. It's definitely one of their signature holes. And we've all hit our shots. You realize you don't have the right club. And, Dave's in good shape. Dave's been working out. Dave's in the gyms. He's like, I'm going to run to the cart. While he's running to the cart, some things happen with his wardrobe.
My belt broke.
Yeah, his belt broke. Some of the people from Air Force Services are dying laughing in their cart. Everybody, the whole place is cracking up laughing. We're on the box cracking up laughing. And you come back and you stick 1 to 7 feet. I don't remember if it was a 7-iron or 8-iron.
7-iron, because you told me to go back and get the 7. That was a caddy moment.
I had some caddy moments.
I had a 6.
I might not be able to play, but I can caddy.
I had a 6, and you said, no, the 7.
And when you come back and you stick 1 to 6, 7 feet, that's probably mine. Yours?
Well, my favorite moment out of all of this was actually you hitting the green at MacDill in the foggy weather on the par 3 and making me do 10 push-ups.
Was that MacDill?
Yes.
Oh, it was.
Because Dave used to be a drill instructor, and he was all in my grill to make sure Fat Boy got down there.
Hey, but you did them.
Yeah, I did.
You knocked out those 10 push-ups.
Hey, if I lose my bet, I pay my debt.
You ran up Heart Attack Hill over at Lackland.
Yeah, don't let the belly
With
fool
your
you.
bag.
With my bag. But I think that moment right there, because, things were...
It was foggy that
It was foggy that day. And for you to, you're the first player to tee off and to knock it on a green, which that hole played about 160 yards. We really couldn't see much of the green. We didn't even know the ball was there until we got there.
Right.
And, to put it up there, that was a favorite, like 15 to 20 minutes instead of just like a moment, because it was kind of cool because we weren't sure. We're all laughing, going, okay, you missed it. I'm safe. We get up there. It's on there. Drill sergeant reminds me, the mayor of MacDill is laughing, and he's a full bird colonel, and he is laughing. He wants to see this civilian do push. Oh, he's great.
One of the most squared away dudes I've met for sure.
Oh, very great. And then he pulls out, because the whole hole was exciting after doing the push-ups. He pulls out the special coin that he received, and from a wife of a fallen soldier, and we made the putt.
We did make Stewart drilled it from deep.
He made all 3. I didn't even have to putt.
It's his house.
Well, he should make those.
Members bounce, members cut, members break. Yeah, it was great. Yes, I didn't forget, but yes, I'm glad you reminded me about
the coin
from the colonel.
And that was very, very special. I was thinking about it that day we were flying home, because, you and I and the crew, we had to go run through. I thought we were filming a Hertz commercial, how we had to get to one plane to the other because we had to get there just in case. And you're all broke leg, and I'm like, I'm going to stay with you, Rudy, because if you're going to miss it, I'm missing it with you.
Yeah, I had no idea, but we battled through it. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Yes.
It's a really good time because, again, this is, we're trying to grow the game within the Air Force.
And I think that's where it's all about right there, because we are entertainment. They do go 24/7, 365. The famous get off the Xbox and get on the T-box is so important. Get out, get the vitamin D therapy. We had, we got a little sun all 4 days that we were playing golf together. Well, we actually played 5 days together with our emergency 9, but I think it's vitally important that everybody knows that health and wellness is so important, not only mentally,
yes, for sure,
also socially. And as you said before, you've met some people that now you have lifelong friends that you normally wouldn't meet if you went down to the local store. And they welcome us back in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
they love the entire crew. They loved you. They love me. So that's
They
a
made
cool
it
part.
easy for us. They made it, and it was fun at Patrick. Going back to Patrick, remember we're driving up. You and I were like, those guys are young. It was about 2, 3 different groups that were young airmen, and they made us feel, oh yes sir, no sir, absolutely sir. I'm like, damn, am I in Sirland already?
Yes, sir.
Am I looking at that much gray in my beard? I'm in Sirland.
I'm
But
already used to
no,
all
it
that.
made me feel good
Well, the
because
respect is there.
the respect is there. Two, I liked seeing the kids out there playing. I say kids, they're mid-20s, but they're kids to me.
Right.
I got kids older than them. It made me feel good because this is all we've been talking about, and it's one of the second fastest growing sport on YouTube. So to see it actually in person at Patrick Space Force Base, seeing like, 8 different airmen out there
Yes.
having a blast, like a legit blast. I'm not saying that for TV. They were legitimately having a good time. They had their music on. They were having a good time. They weren't in a rush. That made me happy to see.
And for us in the services centers, having E1s to E4
Yes.
for the second consecutive year be the number one fastest growing demographic, it shows that our game is safe for the future. They're out there playing, whether they learned it at a local driving range, off course place like Top Golf or something like that, but they've now brought it onto the golf course. The generational needs are different, so they're more social. The music was playing,
That's
yeah, they
cool.
had
Yeah, I like a little music.
they had a couple of suds, hey, as long as they're safe, go out and have a good time, unwind and get rid of those stressors that they have, when they get back to work, because at a moment's notice, you never know, something can happen. And
Found that out.
yes, and so having the outlet, and then you get to like them. It was fun to watch a couple of them because knowing, as I was telling you the other day, less is more. Less effort's going to produce more results. Less thinking. Don't think about it. Let's do the grip. Let's do the stance. Forget about that. Okay, now let's get into. And they go out there and you see them swinging like they're starting a prop engine airplane. They're brutalizing. And
Hey, because they're young, they got abs, they got pecs. They're like, I'm gonna just swing hard. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then that ball with the wind, and they're going wide right.
It ain't going anywhere.
But you know what? Then they look at it and they're having fun and they're laughing about it.
That's it.
And they're not like what you see on PGA Tour, where a guy on tour will hit the ball and he's 15 feet left of the hole and he's madder. And you're like, why you 15 feet from the hole? People would be blessed to be 15 feet from the hole.
I have it written down in my bag and where I keep my tees. It's a sign, a little note I wrote to myself. You're not good enough to be mad. And I keep that in my bag. And, I don't see it all the time, but every now and then it'll just be folded up.
I think that's a new T-shirt.
Yeah.
I think we need to put that on a
You're
T-shirt.
not good enough to be mad.
You're
And I
right.
love when I see it because I'm like, all right, let me get back to having fun.
See, and that's why when folks like, are you a real pro? And I get that a lot.
Yeah,
right?
of course, you should. You are.
And yeah, I am. But the story behind why I became a club professional from trying to make it on tour was Mr. John Daly, of course. Because that cat, I thought I was good back in the 80s, right? And I was. I will give myself that. I'm a shell of my former self now. But to then see that next level live and in color, and this is before he won the PGA Championship. This is when he was on the Ben Hogan Tour. He's playing the barbecue tours, things like this.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I'm going, you know what? I'm a bad man, but this dude's better.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a club pro. I think I'm just gonna help people learn this game, because that level right there. But it's fun to see, because we've spent a lot of time with folks that are in the majority, just having fun. They shoot the 85s, the 90s, the 100s.
I love
And to see them have a good time now and not give up on the game.
Right.
I think it's vitally important. I think our mission with our show and everything that we do is to remind them, as you're out there, no matter what your skill level, go have fun.
Absolutely.
Just go have fun.
And thank you to all the GMs and all the courses. Much, much appreciated.
Yeah, that was great. And we want to thank our crew, and we want to thank Air Force Services Marketing, because without them, this all couldn't have happened. They had the plan, and we got to execute. We had the fun part. They had to do all the logistical stuff. We had the fun part.
They're out there playing golf, man.
Yeah. Well, we did. You say.
Shooting the breeze, man. Laughing and giggling.
And that's what people tell me. They said, Dave, you know what? Your career, you do all this. I said, look, I'm not building roads. I'm not roofing, man. I'm a golf pro.
Exactly.
Why should
I
I?
pinch myself. I pinch myself a few times throughout that week. I pinched myself a few times throughout that
You
week.
sure that wasn't that alligator on your
Yeah,
ankle?
laying in my hotel bed, I'm like, am I really? Yeah.
And you know what's so sad is when at the end of the day, you and I and the crew, we were out there on the golf course. You know what I did when I got back to the hotel? Turned on golf.
Me too.
That's all I
Me
did.
too.
I turned on golf.
Me too.
I mean,
Me
golf is
too.
my diet,
Me
and the
too.
greans are my salad, man.
Me
That's
too.
the way it
I love
is.
that. I love that's a t-shirt too.
Well, I appreciate you and all that you know bring to the game. You have a different perspective than what mine is, and it's very enlightening to listen to you when you talk about having fun and just being blessed that you're able to swing the golf course club and be on a course, and then how you articulate all of the travels and the fun that you have while you're out there. It's refreshing because I've been on that other side where when you finish that 18th hole, you know, you're popping a couple of Tylenols and then you're back out on the grind. And, you know,
Amen.
just seeing you and seeing the gang having fun, in my career, that's refreshing.
Same. Thank you to you. And we got more work to do.
Yes, we do.
We got more work to do.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this show. Rudy played wonderful. He'll be on the injured reserve, but we're going to get back with him when he's finished.
I'm fine.
I'm going to have him shooting 70s by
If we had
2027,
to go
folks.
play today, I'd do it.
Oh, I know you would. You're a trooper. You are a trooper.
Yes.
Well, folks, again, that's going to wrap it up for the Air Force Golf Show. I'm Dave Roberts.
I'm Rudy J.
We're changing lives one swing at a time.